We are the teen librarians with Arapahoe Libraries, and we're excited to come back with you again to recommend some books for 6th grade readers. And we will just jump right into our book talks today.
When Life Gives You Mangoes is a really good realistic story about Clara, and it's set in Jamaica. And Clara used to love eating mangoes, enjoyed the ocean, hanging out with her friends, the sun, all of it. But it all changed the summer before after a hurricane hit, and something big happened besides the hurricane that Clara doesn't really remember what it is. She knows something big happened though, because she doesn't really like going near water anymore, and there's some tension with her friends. It seems like they remember, but no one's really telling her. And she's really struggling between kind of remembering the past. She does get these flashback memories, but not very often. And so she's trying to come up with like different things that she enjoys and trying to figure that out. And she's super excited because there's someone new in town that is visiting for a while, coming to stay with some family. And she wants to get to her first. She wants to meet her first because she doesn't want anyone to tell her about her problem with her memory because she has been getting a hard time about it lately. And so she is super excited to show her around the island and adventures, and also try to see if she could patch up her friendship that something has happened, and try to figure that out and patch up the friendship because she does miss her friends and she misses how things were, but she really just can't bring herself to kind of address what has been happening. Her parents have been trying to help her, but it's something that she has to do in herself. So if you're looking for an adventure book set in Jamaica that's super fun, you get to learn about the island more. I really enjoyed it. The author's from Jamaica, so I really feel like you get a really strong picture of what it looks like living there. And if you like friendship stories, new and old, kind of building them, patching them up, this one's really good. And I've just really liked Claire. She is a really awesome character. That is, while she's struggling, she is also figuring out how to adjust to that as well. So that is When Life Gives You Mangoes.
So R.L. Stein, you may be familiar with him. He has written literally hundreds of books. He writes the Goosebumps books and all of the like creepy, right? Creepy, scary books. He's really fun. His writing is also kind of funny. And so this book, It Came from Ohio, is his sort of story, his memoir, essentially telling you about his life and what he's up to. He wrote it, so it's not written by someone else. So it has some of those things. If you like his books, you'll probably like this one too. It has some of that humor in there. It's not scary, right? Because interestingly enough, his life is not a scary life, but it's really entertaining. Excuse me. And it has pictures of like him as a kid growing up, but it also has pictures. He actually started, he was somebody who began at a very young age making comics, like comic books and comic stories. It has pictures of the comics he created with the silly jokes and the art. He's not much of an artist is something that he says throughout the book, that his art has never improved even though his writing maybe has. And this has all of the story of like how he became an author and like what he does while he writes. It's got details about, I don't know if this is maybe something other people knew, but I didn't know it till I read the book. He had typed all of his books, his hundreds of books that he's written. He has typed with one finger because that is how he taught himself to type when he was just a kid. When he kind of got his hands on a typewriter from his parents' house, taught himself to type with one finger. That is still how he types, and he types all of his books like that. And I am in awe because I would go very slowly if that were me. So this one is a good choice if you want kind of those details about how to like what it takes to become a writer, what it's like to come up with like spooky stories, where does he get his ideas? If you're curious at all about the types of things that he thinks about when he's thinking about writing for kids and teens, this book is really fun and super entertaining. I recommend it even though I am not a big scary book fan. I recommend this one a lot.
If you like books with lots of action based on mythology, I highly recommend Girl Giant and the Monkey King. It is based on Vietnamese mythology, which I found fascinating because I don't know a lot of the mythology for that culture. And so it was really interesting to read about. And also the characters were really fun and engaging. The main character of the story is Tom, and she and her mom have just moved across the country. They're hiding a secret, particularly the secret that Tom is super strong to the point that she has accidentally injured her classmates and friends. She can't play soccer anymore because when she kicks the ball, she does it with such force that people, if it touches them, they go flying across the field. And so she's having to hide how strong she is. And her life has become pretty miserable. And the story gets going when Tom accidentally releases the Monkey King from a 500-year prison. Someone imprisoned him, and she accidentally releases him. The Monkey King is the trickster god of Vietnamese culture. And the Monkey King is one of my favorite characters in this book because he does get into so much trouble and he's really funny. He reminded me a bit, if you're familiar with Norse mythology, of Loki, same kind of character. And essentially, Tom and the Monkey King make a deal. She is going to help him retrieve his staff, which has been taken away. It's the source of most of his power. She will help him retrieve it if he cures her of her super strength. Things don't go according to plan, but it's a really fun adventure story. I do believe it is the first in a series. If you're looking for something along the lines of Percy Jackson or some of the other Rick Riordan Presents stories, I highly recommend this one.
Cinders and Sparrows is a really good suspenseful story if you're looking for something that has surprises throughout and kind of mixes up kind of mystery and kind of learning about your history. This one's great. And it's about Zeta. She's an orphan, and one day she receives a letter that she has inherited Blackbird Castle and must come right away to claim it. And as you can imagine, Zeta's very thrown off and confused. She doesn't know anything about her past or family or anything, but she's definitely going to welcome this adventure. She's very excited. She wonders what family's left, how did it come to her, and all the stories that she's looking forward to hearing about. As soon as she gets into the cab to get there and he sees the address, he starts telling her the stories of different things that he's heard about happening in the area. And as they get closer, he says, I can't go any further, and drops her off pretty far away and tells her how to walk there. So, of course, her mind's spinning like, what is going on in this area? Where am I going? Kind of what is happening. And when she gets there, the caretaker of the house is telling her all about her family and how they were really powerful witches. And so she starts to wonder, am I a witch? And as more stories come out, she finds out that they had very questionable deaths that she's very confused by, different ways that where they thought they were safe, that they ended up dying and things. And so she's trying to figure out what actually happened. Is it truthful? And what's going on in the castle? There seems to be things shifting around. Stairs are in different places than she remembers. There's a staircase that she's told she's not allowed to go up, and she's trying to figure out what is up there, if it's worth going up there, if she has abilities, because she's getting these different feelings as she's hearing more about her family. And there's this crow that's following her. It's a really interesting castle. There's like the sculpture of a head, a bust, and it like could talk to her. And so it's a very curious place where she's found herself. And so see what details she finds out about her family and all the stuff that she's inherited in the history and stuff. It's really fun. She's a great character that's very curious and open-minded, which I really liked. So that's Cinders and Sparrows.
So Hide and Seeker is a great choice if you'd like spooky reads, if you like, for example, R.L. Stine, or if you're curious about, if you like types of stories where it's like our world, but something is twisted or something is wrong on the other side. So Stranger Things, things like that. And it's about Justin, who's on the cover, and his best buddy Z. And Z has been missing for a year. He disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to him. Was he kidnapped? Did he run away? What happened? But he's reappeared recently. And so still no one knows what happened, where he went. But Justin and a few neighborhood kids are invited over to his house. Z's mom invites them over for a welcome home party. And when they get there, it's clear something's not right. The living room's kind of destroyed. Z's mom seems a little unsettled. Z is kind of in his room, like it's all locked up and he's in his room. So the kids go out into the backyard. Z's mom's like, just hang out for a bit. There's snacks out there. And when they get out there, there's ice cream that has, like, you know how sometimes you get a popsicle and it has a message on it? It's like that, but the messages are all about the game hide and seek. And so the kids decide, like, let's just play some hide and seek while we wait. So they set up their rules, they start playing, the game goes wrong. The rules are broken. They break all of the rules and it doesn't go very well. And as this is kind of happening, Z comes out of the house and he looks not great. He's got scars and like just scratches. He looks a mess and he's flipping out. He's yelling and he's sort of speaking in weird rhymes about hide and seek, and nobody can figure out what's going on. And so the game kind of breaks up. And the next day, one of the kids who was at the party has disappeared. The news is reporting they've vanished. And so it turns into this sort of mystery. What happened to Z? What happened to the kid who disappeared? And the kids who are remaining start getting these things, start showing up, these sort of burn looking marks on their arms. And then they start disappearing one by one. And so the rest of them are trying to figure out. This is a story where they explore kind of worst fears in a way that's real creepy. It doesn't get gory, but it definitely gets unsettling and weird. And it's really entertaining if you like. This is one of those page turner, stay up late type stories.
Snapdragon is an excellent choice for a graphic novel if you like graphic novels like Raina Telgemeier's Ghosts or others. I really, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. One of the best I've read in a while. The art in it, I'll show you a couple of covers. This is the cover. The art in it is really bright and fun. The characters are really expressive. And the main character of the story is Snapdragon. Her family has a tradition that all girls are named after flowers, and she doesn't really like her name, so she goes by Snap. And there's a witch in the town where Snap lives. There's this legend that she goes around and haunts and does magical things, and Snap doesn't really believe it. And one day she rescues a family of baby possums whose mother has been killed, and she decides she's going to take them to Jax, this town witch, because she thinks she can help take care of them. And what she discovers is that Jax is not, in fact, a witch. She gathers up roadkill, dead animals from the side of the road, and takes their skeletons and articulates them in various poses and sells them on the internet. People buy them. And so that's what she does for a living. But because it's kind of weird and creepy, people assume she is a witch. Snap is fascinated by this and decides that she wants to learn more about this and to learn how to articulate skeletons herself. And along the way, she discovers that there might be a little bit more magic to Jax than she realized, and that Snap might have some magic herself. So if you're looking for something that's bright and funny, it does definitely have some creepy moments, but the characters in the story, Snap, Jax, and Lulu are the main characters, and they were just some of the best characters I've read in a very long time. I highly recommend it. And those are all of the books that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you found a few things that you are looking forward to reading, and we will see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.